This is the show you've been waiting for all week, our mock 2024 NFL draft for your Pittsburgh Steelers as we break down all 7 rounds for your favorite team. Welcome back to Mic Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive into this. It's going to be awesome, and some of these picks may shock you, some of them may not, and some of you may agree, and some of you may not, but this is where I see the Pittsburgh Steelers going to fill major needs, major holes headed into the 2024 season and give Omar Khan yet another spectacular draft class. All right, guys, let's dive into it in round 1, pick 20, and I've got the Steelers going tackle. I know this would be the second year in a row, but I have them this time picking a right tackle in Talise Funga out of Oregon State. I think he could play really well inside of this Arthur Smith offense. His 6'5" frame, 332 pounds from Oregon State. He's a junior from Tacoma, Washington. A guy that runs the 40 and 5.2, a span of 81.48. This guy has the intangibles, guys. He really does well, and he reminds me of a guy that could go out there and just knock your damn head off when you watch him on tape. A guy that's aggressive, a guy that really loves the game of football. He's excited to be out there, and I just like the way he played. I love the way he carried himself on the football field, and I feel like he has all the intangibles to make things happen for this offense. And also, he is a natural right tackle, and that allows the Pittsburgh Steelers to put Broderick Jones back at the left tackle spot and leaving Dan Moore Jr. as the odd man out. And I think they'll retain Dan Moore. We'll see, maybe as a backup type thing. We'll see how that goes, but I think Funga is a guy that could come in and contribute early and often for your Pittsburgh Steelers and allow that versatility for Broderick Jones to go back to the left tackle spot, his natural position, and get super young at the offensive line spot. I think it's just a quality, correct pick. If you're trying to build a Super Bowl team, you have to win in the trenches. And I think the Steelers go for the second consecutive year and grab themselves a young monster offensive tackle. Let's move into round 2 at pick 51, and this is going to fill another giant need for your Pittsburgh Steelers. At pick 51, I have the Steelers selecting WVU standout, Fairmont, West Virginia native Zach Frazier at the center position. Zach Frazier has all the intangibles in order to be a quality NFL guy, a guy that can really make some moves inside of the NFL. 6'2", 314 pounds, adding another 300 plus pounder to that offensive line. A guy that isn't super tall, and I like that for our centers. Why? Because I like them when they're a little bit shorter and they can get out when they pull, because the Steelers love to use the center to pull. So when they get him out there on the move, he's going to be tucked in behind that offensive line, behind those other monster guys, and get in there, and the element of surprise coming out and doing those nice kick out blocks and really setting up that run game for Arthur Smith, Najee Harris, and Jaylen Warren. And I think it could really pay big dividends early for the Steelers and get rid of one of their deficiencies, Mason Cole, and move him at least to a backup spot for your Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024 to where he's not an everyday player. I know some want to have Jackson Powers Johnson, because I would too, but I don't think the Steelers will have him available when they pick, at least in my eyes right now, and at least how I think this draft is going to unfold. Let's move into round 3. And this pick may shock you because the Steelers do have a lot of needs, but I think this pick is going to be quality. There's a guy I like out of North Carolina here also, but I think he will be taken before the Steelers get the pick. And I think this pick here with their round 3 selection in Johnny Wilson, wide receiver, Florida State. And the reason I like Johnny Wilson is, guys, he's 6'6". He is big. He's monstrous. He's out a junior class from Pacomia, California. The guy's quick. He runs a 4.4 40. His shuttle is good. He has a great vertical at 38. And I think if you insert him into the slot role, this guy could do some damage for this Arthur Smith offense and really develop into a quality NFL player. And the Steelers need to find a third monster, a third head for that wide receiver room. And I know they have Calvin Austin, but he is more of a specialist, if you ask me. A guy that's going to be able to blow the top off of defenses in more of elaborate sets. Also, you can bring him in, run some jet sweeps, things of that nature with him. But Calvin Austin, also a returner, so you need to add a wide receiver to that room, and that is going to be Johnny Wilson from Florida State, and I think it's going to be a great pickup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's move into round 4, one of their 2 picks inside of round 4 for your Pittsburgh Steelers. At pick 119, Tommy Eckenberg, linebacker, Oklahoma State University, a guy that's, I feel like, a guy that can come in and be a standout eventually. I'm not sure if he'll be a day one starter, but I think it's a quality pickup, and the Steelers need linebackers. So right here in your first 4 picks of the draft, I have the Steelers filling tons of holes, and I think that this is important. And it is still taking the best player available, if you ask me, on the board, because these guys are standouts and you're filling holes. So this really could fall into the Steelers' lap in a big way, and it could really set the Steelers up for the future, adding young talent like I'm adding here inside of this mock draft. Let's go to their second pick of the 4th round at pick 120. Back-to-back picks, and I like them taking Kyrie Jackson, cornerback out of Oregon. This guy is 6'3", 203 pounds, Upper Marlboro, Maryland, so he's used to this area on the East Coast. He's from here. Get him close to home, make him happy. And I think you could see Kyrie Jackson coming in and playing early because he matches the style like Joey Porter Jr. Tough, physical, man press coverage type corner. And I think that's what the Steelers are looking for. 2 bookend guys like Joey Porter Jr. to shut down the outside, to be matched up one-on-one on the edges, to where they can take away those edges away from an offense and force everything into the middle, to where you have ball hawks like Minkah Fitzpatrick. And we'll see how that goes for the Steelers if it all sets up that way. But I think that could be a quality pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the cornerback position. And you also have another variable there with Corey Trice. That could give you 3 young stud cornerbacks if Trice is able to come back and recover from that big ACL tear that he suffered in his rookie season. Let's keep moving here. Let's go to pick 196 in round 6 for your Steelers. They do not have a 5th round pick, and we are going to go with a Wisconsin linebacker. This will give you 2 linebackers in this draft. Mayama Ngjongmeta. Forgive me if I mispronounce that. He is an inside linebacker, guys, out of Wisconsin. You know they love their Wisconsin guys, and I think he could fit right in. A guy that runs a 4.5 40, a good run stuffer type guy that can get side to side, edge to edge, and blow up the middle with his speed. I really like him, guys. He runs a great 3-cone. He runs a good 40. He's 234 pounds. I'd like to see him maybe add a couple more pounds. But the Steelers kind of probably need in today's NFL the more sleek pass coverage type guys, but you still want to find a guy that has enough weight, enough force to be able to stuff that run. And I like the way this guy could really come in and fit with other Wisconsin guys like TJ Watt, like Nick Herbig, like Keanu Benton, and make this a real Wisconsin Badger type environment. And those guys know how to play defense in Wisconsin. All right, let's move to round 7, and some of you may be shocked with what I'm going to tell you. But during the Senior Bowl, the Steelers were looking at a couple quarterbacks that were down there and actually making a name for themselves. One being Spencer Rattler, who I think will already be gone. But the other was Carter Bradley from South Alabama, a quarterback. And I think the Steelers go out and they draft this young quarterback from South Alabama, and he may end up being a diamond in the rough. I think Carter Bradley could excel at the NFL level if given the opportunity and time to develop. And I think coming in as a 7th round pick with no expectations, you could be stashed away in places to where you could just sit back and learn and not have the pressure on you. And I think Carter Bradley could be a quality pick for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Some have the Steelers taking a punter there, but I think the Steelers are going to grab Matt Ariza, and that's just my thoughts. I'm not 1,000% sure. There's no inside information on that, but I think the Steelers burn their 7th round pick on Carter Bradley. He's 6'3", 260 pounds, or 216 pounds, out of Jacksonville, Florida. In 2023, he threw 326 passes and completed 221 of them, threw 19 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 84 long. I think he could come in and just learn. And that's what I think the Steelers need. A guy that could come in and learn and maybe become that next franchise guy, that next contingency plan in place if guys like Kenny Pickett fail and whoever else they bring in free agency, because they will have to add there in free agency. So let's continue here to just talk about this draft. And you have the Steelers setting up perfectly here. They get a tackle. They get the center. That fills the two monster holes I feel like they have on offensive line. And they fill two inside linebacker holes in this draft with how I have it set up. They also fill a hole at cornerback with another tough press man type like Joey Porter Jr. in the Oregon cornerback. And then you see him pick up a quarterback that's young that could possibly develop in round 7, not spending a high amount of draft capital. Also, you have them getting that third wide receiver, the thing that they really, really need, in rookie Johnny Wilson from Florida State, a big body guy that could give whoever is playing quarterback a superior weapon, especially when they're trying to double up guys like George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. And when they are taken out of the game, you could go to guys like Johnny Wilson and Calvin Austin and really still have a dynamic like George and Deontay provide at the starter role. But when you go into those four wide sets, you could bring in Johnny Wilson and Calvin Austin and pick your poison with them, guys. It would really make the Steelers versatile on offense in my eyes. So that's a lot of holes that the Steelers are filling if they go this route. And I really think that this would be a solid draft class for the Steelers. And I like it. And we'll see. So tonight, guys, we will have our live show. I'll be live with Nova Racer Scoops. We'll be live with him as we do our Friday edition of the live show. That will be at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Mike Drop Sports. And you won't want to miss that show. It's going to be explosive. Nova doesn't mind giving you his opinion, and I'm sure he will not disappoint with explosive takes tonight. So we are going to rock this live show and really give you guys something awesome to watch tonight. Also, we're going to break down some salary cap stuff. We're going to break down the Steelers roster a little bit, and we will incorporate this mock draft into it a little bit, my mock draft, and we'll see what Nova thinks about that. Also, how about we will break down the mock draft and add them in terms of the cap. So we'll see if Nova has any other picks. And also, I want you guys to come armed tonight with your mock drafts, who you would like to see in these rounds. And we'll go round by round and break that down. Also, put it in the comments today what you guys think of my mock draft. If you think that it's solid, or if you would change some things up, let me know. Because, guys, it's just hypothetical shit. We're just mock draft. Keep that in mind. It's nothing definitive, so don't crucify me for that. So we will have a great day here on Mike Drop Sports, and the content will just keep pouring in. Don't forget, though, the live show tonight, because it is going to be freaking awesome, guys. We are going to kick ass tonight with the live show. So until next time, until tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Mike Drop Sports live show, I'm Jason, and we'll see you next time. Peace.